Hi everybody, it's Christine here today from Chris Ferdy Cards, and today we're going to be making this little box. I'm a Canadian independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. We're going to be using Lemon Lime Twist and Dapper Denim as our ink pads, and the Paisleys and Paisleys stamp set, and we'll be using the little flower, little round center, and the medallion, and the greeting, thankful, grateful, blessed. The cardstock we're going to be using today is Lemon Lime Twist and Whisper White. For the Lemon Lime Twist, the piece needs to be 5 1/4 by 6 1/2, and we're going to score this one on 3/4 inch and 1 1/2 inches on all 4 sides, using our Simply Scored scoring tool. And I like to use a little piece of dryer sheet. It helps the scoring tool run a little easier. So we're just going to score this on 3/4 and 1 1/2 on all 4 sides. Trying to stay in the tracks here. What this is going to give us is a 3/4 inch reinforced box, which would be the inside of our matchbox. And for our Whisper White piece, we have our piece cut at 7 1/2 by 5 5/8. We're going to do some scoring and some cutting. So with the long side at the top, our 7 1/2 inch side, we're going to rub it with our dryer sheet. Score it at 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, 3 5/8, 4 3/8, and 6 3/4. Need to do this one again. Keep running off that edge. Then we're going to completely flip it over, and with our 5 5/8 side, we're going to score it at 1 inch. That's why I like to have the dryer. Small avalanche there. 1 inch, turn it all the way around, and in order to have equal sides, 1 inch on that side. And we can get rid of our scoring tool. So we're going to start making our base, and as you can see from the diagram, we have 4 squares on each of these corners, which lines up with our paper. We're going to remove each of the 3 squares on the corner and be left with 1 tab in the middle. For this, we just need some snips, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut up these 2 lines to the second score line. And then what we're going to do is we're going to completely remove these 2 squares, a single square leaving us with a tab, and then we're going to just effectively just take little slivers off to remove the score lines. And this just helps the box to go together a little better. So repeat this on the other sides. Cut off these two squares. Cut off the square. Remove a small sliver, taking out what would have been the score line on each of these sections. And it just becomes a matter of repeating again on this side. So we go to this side, cut up to the second score line, remove the extra squares, and cut our little sliver off of the card, removing the score line. And finish off the last side. Remove these two squares. Remove this square. And then slight miters to remove the score lines. And this is what we should have. Our outside for our reinforced box, our sides, and each of the little tabs. We need our bone folders. Reinforce all of the score lines. Make them nice and crisp so we have a nice clean box. And then we just need to put some adhesive on these 4 squares. I'm going to use Tombow Mono Multi Glue, which is a good one. You can also use tear and tape or fast fuse. I like the Tombow because it gives me a little bit of room to adjust to make sure that the corners are nice and crisp. You don't need very much. It's a very strong glue, holds really well. So line up your corners so you get a nice tight corner. You'll need to hold it for just a few seconds to let the glue absorb into the paper. And do that all the way around so that we have the base of the box put together. This is a Matchbox style box. So this will be the little tray that's going to slide into the wrap, which we'll make next. Once you get the corners all glued up, we're just going to put a little bit of Tombow on each of the sides. And we're going to fold these in, and this is what makes our reinforced box, makes the base of this box really strong. So we push each of the sides down like this, hold them just a little bit till they catch. And then we're going to just fold in the long sides. And then taking the bone folder, just press down each of these sides. Helps to make the edge nice and crisp. and spreads out the glue so that it holds on the sides. And once the glue catches on this and holds, it'll be a very strong box. So there's the base of our box made. Now we go on to the lid. Now for the lid, we need to do a little bit of decoration with our stamping before we get started. And I'm just looking for my post-it note tape. I like using this because I get a long strip. You can also use post-it notes, which would work as well. I like this because it's easy to just put one long strip on, because we're going to be doing some stamping here and we want to protect the inside of the box. And this post-it tape is very inexpensive. You can get it at places like Walmart pretty easily. Let's bring in a piece of scrap paper, and now we're going to be doing some of our stamping, which will be on this outside edge. So get our lemon lime twist out. Dapper denim. And have my 3 stamps mounted up. First one I'm going to use is this medallion, which is this stamp right here. It looks a bit like a flower. You just want to randomly stamp all along this edge, going off the edge in a random pattern. Doesn't take very long. This lemon lime twist, I didn't know if I was going to like the color, but I kind of like it. It's a nice bright green. Let's clean off my stamp on the stamping trimmer, which I have off to the side, and finish off with the lemon lime twist, adding some of these little flowers randomly through the pattern. You can do a little better job than I am. I'm going quickly. You can make sure that you get nice, detailed, nicely spaced out. It just fills it in, rather than cutting and adding a piece of designer series paper. This makes it very nicely flat. Clean off that stamp, and then close up our lemon lime twist ink. We don't need that any longer. And the next one, it will be this little medallion, little circle. I'm going to try and get these into the middle of the flowers. Not easy when I can't quite see where I'm putting them. And this ink pad is really juicy, so it keeps taking ink on the sides. Just clean it off a little bit. Nice thing about the stamping scrubber is it's very easy to use with a dry side and a wet side. And you just need to swipe the stamps over it and it cleans them off. And you don't need to push down really hard on these ink pads. They're very juicy. The ink gets on them. I think I'm just pushing a little bit too hard. If I push a little, softer, wouldn't be so bad. Got ink all over my fingers. So that's the stamping there. I'm just going to close up the dapper denim for now. We'll need that in a little bit. Remove the post-it tape. And I can reuse this on another project. And we'll do some scoring. So for these ones, we want to score them back on themselves. This is going to make that pretty little pattern. And then these ones, we just want to fold them the opposite way. We need to do a little bit of cutting just to remove a few of the spots. So we get our cutting pattern back in here, and instead of having this on this side, I'm going to put it on this side this time. So that's the only little change from the pattern. But we need to create 2 little tabs on the 1/2 inch section that we have, and we need to create a long tab by cutting out these 2 sections on this one. And as I said, I'm going to make the V on this side, and I'll tell you why when we do it. So we need to take our snips, and the part that has just the 3/4 inch, we're going to make a tab for that. So just cut in and in, and cut off these 2 tabs. So this gives us this nice tab here. And then we need to create 2 little tabs here. So we need to cut in on this long one. Sorry, I did that wrong. So that we've created 2 tabs there, and we're going to completely remove this long piece here. You can do it with your stamping trimmer, or you can just freehand it. I'm just freehanding it. So what we have left with at this point is 2 little tabs on the end on the 1/2 inch piece, and 1 3/4 inch tab. Now we need to make the V, which gives us our decorative detail on our box. For this you need a ruler, and we're going to make a mark 1 3/16. I don't know if you can see this, but if you go to the 1/4 inch mark and go back 1, or go to the 1/8 inch mark and go forward 1, it's the little tiny, one of those little tiny marks. We need to make that on each side. And 1 3/16 here. Then we're going to mark 1/4 inch in on each of the sides, and don't worry about these pencil marks. You don't need to do on that side, sorry, we're just doing it on this side. So 1/4 inch mark here, and a 1/4 inch mark here, and if we just join up 1/4 inch in this way, 1/4 inch to here. And just make a light line. This will be our cutting line. So about 1/4 inch up here. We're doing on the other side the 1 3/16 mark. 1/4 inch from this side. 1/4 inch from this edge, and then join up. And what we need to do is remove these two small amounts. The way that I like to do it is to cut down the center and just do one long cut, just like you're making a banner, but we're just making a V-shaped notch. You can cut the whole way, you can use your trimmer. This is just as easy and looks just as good. I'm using an eraser, just erase any pencil marks that you've made. And our box is almost finished. What we need to do now is fold in these sides and fold this over. And we're going to stamp our greeting. And we're going to do this in Dapper Denim. So our box is going to fold up this way, so we can put our greeting in here. And the reason we put the greeting in after is so that we know how big our aperture is, so that we can get it centered in. And we're going to be using Dapper Denim ink. And try and get this centered. And that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Just clean off my stamp real quick here. Close up the ink because we are almost finished. So in order to put this box together, we're going to fold all the sides, and this long end that we have is going to fit in here like this. It just slots right in behind there, making a nice clean finish. And then we are going to put glue on. I like to put glue on both sides of this tab to help it sit down in. So just slide it underneath there. Wipe away any excess glue. And there you have it. Take your bone folder, rub down all your sides, very clean and simple, and our tray slips in here, and we got a cute little matchbox with a interesting detail on the outside. Yours will be much neater than mine is, which will fit a gift card and allow you to put a little something else into it. I'm just using a hotel card, and that's our project for today. So I have a few other samples. I have one I did in I believe it was Daffodil Delight or So Saffron. I also have one here that shows you why we stamp the greeting after we cut the aperture, because I stamped this greeting before we cut it, and as you can see I didn't get it in the center, whereas waiting till afterwards get it completely in the center. So that's our box today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thanks, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Once again, it's Chris Ferdy Cards, and you can see me on Facebook at Chris Ferdy Cards, or if you want to buy any supplies, it's linked to I'll put a link for my online store, and I'd be really appreciative of your business if you're a Canadian customer. So thank you very much for watching.